Boom. When it comes to fishing the Jigging Rap, you know, a lot of people think that it's like you do ice fishing where it's just straight up and down, and that does work, but we end up, you know, that fish I was actually pitching. A lot of the fish that we catch on this are actually casting it, so it falls really fast, so it's no big deal to fish that 25 to 30 feet really effectively. And you just let it hit the bottom, bang, pop it up, let it hit the bottom, bang, pop it up.
As you can see, it's an erratic presentation. I'm ripping that Jigging Rap. You see a lot of slack line. And what's key to that is, number one, watching your line jump. Number two, having a longer rod so you can be able to leverage that fish. Number three is a bigger arbor. I'm using a 2500 Ballistic. And the reason that I'm using that 2500 is you can pick up that slack and catch up to that fish when they grab that Jigging Rap on the drop. Oh, that thing dropped right on the drop and just picked it up. Like just what I was saying, watch that line jump.
That is the best. Just the best.
Set the hook, get that leverage with that longer rod. A small one, but definitely starting to really get into them. About that size, you don't get big ones, right? They grow, get bigger.
So there is a little bit of technique to the Jigging Rap. The rod that I've got for this is a specialized piece of equipment. This is St Croix Eyecon. It's a 7'1", medium power, moderate fast action. It's their Jigging Rap rod. It's made for Jigging Rap fishing. And then I've got a size 2500 reel on here. This is a Daiwa Regal LT. Great reel setup. Braid, 10-pound Sufix 832 and a hi-vis yellow. And then just a chunk of 12-pound Sufix Advance Fluorocarbon. So that's the setup I've got. I've got a little swivel here to prevent line twist, but I'll show you a couple things that make this combo so deadly. One is the handle. You can see when I Jigging Rap fish, I like having my entire hand in front of the reel seat, so that gives me a lot more leverage. And then what I'm doing is I'm making sure if we're in the wind here that I'm lined up, and I've got the rod resting right underneath my forearm here. Ooh, Ty's hooked up, one after the other. I'll share with you how I finish the jig and snap in here after Ty catches his nice walleye. Looks like a good one, Ty.
Definitely better fish, better fish.
Oh, that's a really nice fish. Yeah.
There we go.
Yeah, we're into a lot of slot fish now.
Yeah, beautiful fish. There we go, look at that. That one actually might be.
That's definitely in the slot. That's a great fish. Look how fat and healthy they are. That's the beauty of fall fish. They're just tanks.
They got their feed bag on this time of year and they are eating. You know, we just went through a pretty darn good cold front. And typically you think, wow, that's gonna just shut fish off. But this time of year, they are preparing for the winter. So they are putting the feed bag on and they are getting all fattened up for the winter time. So it is an awesome time to come up to Northwest Ontario, Sunset Country, Eagle Lake, and just hammer on walleye after walleye. And we're catching walleyes of all sizes. Get her back.
So with the Jigging Rap, the idea is you really want to snap the bait. If you're just taking the rod and kind of lifting it and letting it fall, lifting it, letting it fall, it doesn't have nearly the effect as it does if you give it that good, just quick bang. And then you want to let it fall on slack. So it's bang, oh, just like that.
Just
See
like
that? You let it fall back on slack. That's the whole secret to making this thing work. And notice how I've got the rod and reel positioned in my hand. I'm using the butt of the rod up against my forearm, so that prevents me from fatiguing. And then I've got my hand in front of the reel seat. So I'm not putting a lot of leverage on my wrist. It makes it really easy. I'm just using my bicep to pump the stick back and forth, and it's just really, really not as tiresome as if you're trying to do something with the wrong type of program.
It's not too bad.
Yeah. Fall can be a time where there's like, there's really like fish deserts out here. I mean, just big areas that don't have a ton of fish, but I mean, it's just like when we find fish, it's bang, 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 bang. You just can't believe how many fish you can catch. But then you go for a long ways and you don't see any. I'm gonna get this guy back.